First, I'm sorry if there are words out of context. I'm using Google Translate and a text-to-speech. I imagine that this is what you plan to do. Unfortunately, I only know how to do this. I'm investigating how to do the mechanics of the Minesweeper. Step 1. We have to create two variables. I called them order and list order, and the number of lists you need. I made 4. Step 2. We will create 4 costumes. 2 will be the same but with different names. In my case, I called them a hidden bomb and not a bomb, and the other 2 costumes represent the bomb and an empty cell. Step 3. The code that randomizes the grid. In case you want to make it predefined, skip this step. The first thing we will do is, when our event occurs, we set the order variable to 0, then we empty all the lists. Now we go list by list, adding a random number between 1 and 2, repeat the amount needed. In my case, I only did it 4 times. Once you finish with all the lists, send the object to the initial position in the grid, which should be on the top left. Then show the object and leave an empty space, since we will call a custom block in the next step, and then hide this object. Step 4. We will have to create a custom block. In my case, I call it drawing, and do not forget to check the box that says run without screen refresh. This makes all the code that we are going to write complete instantly. Even the previous step can be done a custom block. To define our block, we will put inside a repeat block the number of times you need it to be repeated, which is the number of horizontal rows or the number of lists. Then we will put an add to our variable order 1, and then a block set our variable order in the list to 1. Then we will put another repeater, this time of the number of vertical columns you need. In my case 4. Inside this repeater we will put if blocks depending on the number of horizontal rows you need. In the block, if we compare if the variable order is equal to the row number, then we change the disguise to object order in the list of the list corresponding to the number, and if. Once we are done, we add a block create clone of myself, then a move example 60 step, and out of this, if we add a give x the value example minus 164 and an add to y example minus 60. Step 5. So that the clones change from gray cells to showing what they contain. First, with the block when starting is clone, add a loop forever, and inside an if loop that checks if you are touching the mouse pointer and mouse is down. Inside of this, if another 2 with that check if number of costumes is equal to, in my case 1, then change costumes to bomb. The other says if number of costumes is equal to, in my case 2, then change costumes to no bomb 2. Step 6. To restart our grid and the clones do not overlap, in another block when starting as a clone, add a block to wait 1 second or as necessary but never 0, then a loop forever inside, place an if loop that checks if our event, in my case space key pressed, then delete this clone. And ready, that is what I can share with you. If you want to see the code, leave the link to the project in Scratch. If you have any questions or need something else, you can ask me.